Maybe. Well, as a sound journalist, if you may have the opportunity to one day talk to him, you'll be able to understand all of those things. Because we know sometimes the pressure that comes with their work. It's really not an envious job. Because when you sit on that seat, you come under constant pressure. You only have to be a leader with a thick skin to really bear those pressures that will come from the ruling government. Yeah. It has been this way ever since. Not only under the SRPP regime, even when APC was in power, that seat is always a hot seat, particularly when it comes to elections. And so for us, this is why we always want to have a good working relationship with the ECSL, so that as an independent, credible, independent elections observation outfit locally, if we work with them, we'll be able to now tell their story in a better way that political parties will understand, that citizens will also understand and trust the process. So, but when you don't have a credible institution like ours working with the ECSL, bringing that same message out, if ECSL alone tells its own story, if people don't trust you, they will not believe your story that you tell. Even though you may have some facts with your storytelling, people will not trust you. But when you have an independent outfit also bringing that same story, maybe using different euphemism in bringing it out, then they begin to understand and they will trust that process because of the other third party that is bringing your message out. So that's why it is really crucial for the ECSL to continue to partner with NEW. So that, and we are fortunate now, the two institutions have two new leaderships. And I've often said it on the occasions I've had privileges on TV to talk. We have worked with Mr. Alpha before, and he's one person that also believes in the work NEW does. And I'm pretty sure we'll meet and talk, and we'll put our cards to the table and then design how we intend to continue to foster our partnership so that their institution also keeps having the leverage they ought to have on elections, and also to bring that citizens' trust along their processes. I would do all I could in my own power as the new leadership of NEW to engage the leadership of the ECSL. I have a very good personal relationship with him. I will also leverage on my personal relationship to engage him. And not only him, but the other commissioners with him. Because it is also critical that when you engage the leadership, you take along others within that leadership so that they believe in what you are carving out as a process going forward. And we would also, not only the ECSL will be engaging the PPRC with whom we've had good working relationships before now, and the ONS. So we'll keep on that track. And for me, I believe in building relationships. That's my strength. In all my work life, relationship building is my strength. And so I come in as a team builder. I have a very strong team in the Secretariat that I'll leverage on so that we all work together in pushing through my own agenda and my program as the new chair, so that we reach out as well to these institutions, because it is critical that we build on these relationships that have existed, no matter how sad they may have been over the last 3 years. But it's good that we come back to the drawing board and build on past good old days and how do we envision approaching the 2028 elections.
This is a yes or no question, really.
Yes, sir.
I mean, 3 years on, does NEW still stand by the result it put out in 2023, the 55%?
Of course. Of course. They are verifiable, they are tested and proven, so we still stand by it. But the fact that 2023 is long gone past us, we don't want to keep dwelling on that. We believe in building our society so that we have peaceful and coexistence in our communities and as a nation. That's the reason why I said I will be meeting with political parties, the leadership of those registered political parties, so that we all understand what frontier we are beginning to build going forward into 2028.
Now, there is another development. Parliament has actually moved towards inviting you. You know, they are probing into your affairs, investigating news operations and finances. Does NEW welcome this scrutiny in any way?
Of course. As an accountability-led institution, we are not averse to accountability processes. As long as it's genuine, we are not averse to it. As long as it is not meant to instill fear or intimidation in the body makeup of NEW, we are not averse to it, because in all of the engagement we've had across the years, we've been implementing projects. We've always been accountable to our membership and to the donor partners giving us the resources. They always send international auditors of high profile, of high standing to audit our finances. We've never been found wanting, ever, never. So we are never averse in having accountability, probity.
Was you surprised when Parliament reached out?
It was the manner in which it was done, because if you want to, like any audit institution will do, you want to probe somebody else, you have to inform the person officially that we'll be looking into your account, prepare your documents, and we'll be having you about this period. But that was not done. And it came from no less a person than somebody who has accounting background, who's worked also before in banking institution, now being the deputy speaker, bringing that kind of conversation in the well of Parliament without even prior notice to NEW. So for us, yes, we were taken aback by that process, but we were not intimidated by any means, because for us, like I said, we have never been averse to accountability.
What could have warranted that particular inquiry? Do you think anything could have given you off? So
you see, the landscape has been toxic and polarized. And you are a very credible journalist. I've followed you for a couple of times. You know the landscape in which we exist. It is no gainsaying that Sierra Leone has been polarized. And so people who want to, especially politicians, we always want to play the politicking so that they gain edge over opponents. And if we keep doing this, we intimidate NEW, and so NEW will be intimidated to not doing their job the way they used to do it. But I can tell you for a fact, NEW will never cower. We would never be intimidated. The only thing we would have different approach to processes this time around, because we now have a new leadership. But we cannot be coward, because our strength lies in the people, the citizenry. We are in this space to protect citizens' vote. And we also provide civic education to our people to understand how to approach elections and electoral processes and activities. So if we be intimidated and tend to be coward, then we will be depriving our people from the knowledge that will pass on to them. We'll be depriving them from being guaranteed that their results will be protected, their votes will be protected. So no. We'll let the politicians understand that there's a fine line between the role we play and their activism as politicians. That we are there also, if they see us as a good partner, it is to their benefit. Because sometimes you may think you have it all as a political outfit, but it might not be true. If you have an independent eye watching out for you, it will also be your benefit. So I will encourage them, stop this intimidation and stop this blame game, stop this naming of NEW, attacking of NEW. Both of these two parties have benefited from our work before now. So let them begin to look at it from that perspective. That if we really encourage New to do its work the way it should be done, it is a win-win for us as political parties. So why do you have to antagonize New? When tomorrow New's action might be your own win game, even though we are not doing it for political parties, but they are the beneficiaries of our actions. We come out good, it benefits any of them. So for me, let the politicians understand this perspective. It is like when you have a referee and a linesman. ECSL is the referee. New is the linesman that helps the referee in the field to see that maybe the referee did not see an infringement in the field of play. The linesman will see and flag. And then the referee will now come and take action. This is what New does always in elections. When we have incidences in the field of the elections, we'll call institutions that are responsible to addressing those cases. We forward them to them, and they take action in the field of the elections so that they don't hamper the smooth running of the elections on that day. So if you kick New away, New has been seasoned in terms of the work we do. We are well structured. We are across all the 190 chiefdoms. We have chiefdom focal persons across the 190 chiefdoms. We have district teams across, we have 17 operational districts. Apart from, the country has 16 geopolitical districts. Yeah. But then we looked at Bonth having a riverine area that is large. So we divided Bonth into 2 districts. So we have Bonth Mainland and Bonth Island. That's why we have 17, just to perfect our work, so that we are able to work and really bring out data that is correct to the electoral processes. So New does all of these things. We're able to pinpoint incidences that happen as they happen, and we cascade them to ECSL, to PPRC, to ONS, and to the police. We are structured in that manner so that we are really able to work together with the EMBs to make the election day an accessible process for citizens to vote. So nobody deliberately impedes the citizens coming in to cast their vote. Yeah. If an incident of that nature arises in any polling station, we are quick to flag it out to ECSL, and this is what is happening. If there are delays in delivery election materials, it is New who flags this out to ECSL. And ECSL has been prompt in also responding to those queries that we send to them. Yes, they have been very prompt in addressing our concerns from the polling stations. So that shows you we have had an effective working relationship before. It was unfortunate that in 2023, the leadership at the helm of affairs of the ECSL at the time, well, maybe was not too convinced about the role that New was playing, and so he had his own misgivings about how he did what he did. We cannot interpret his actions until he's one day spoken to. Maybe you understand why he did what he had to do. So, but I believe that the fact that Mr. Alpha has gone through the ranks and file of the ECSL, he was a technical person before he became a commissioner. He's been a commissioner for a while now, and he first acted as acting chairperson of the ECSL before Cornell was appointed. And so after Cornell was appointed and Cornell left, he came in again and acted as acting. Now he's been confirmed as a chairperson. We believe he has wealth of experience as far as elections management is concerned. Okay. And so we can work with him. I would want to ask, yes, even though we've seen political parties have been wrangling and mudslinging against the leadership, which is not our own domain. But for us, the fact that we've worked with him, we've seen his handiwork, and the trust he also reposes on New in the work that New does, we'll leverage on that and engage him and see how do we go before. Okay. How do we go forward? My appeal will be, let citizens give him the benefit of the doubt, and then we see how do we progress with our electoral processes. The things that will concern us the most now will be, what are the reform processes that he's engaged in now?
Okay.
In terms of the legal reforms that the ECSL is doing. How would the political parties, registered political parties, engage with the ECSL on those reforms? That should be the very primary things that should be of importance to political parties now. Okay. And then looking at what is their strategic plan? How can the political parties also inform the strategic plan of the ECSL to embrace their concerns?
Okay.
So that those concerns are factored in their strategic plan and they are being able to address them before the 2028 elections. Okay. Once we start approaching 2028 from this beginning point of the electoral cycle, over and above 80 to 90% would have gotten things right even before we go into elections.
Okay. You know, we are approaching what perhaps would be termed as one of the most complex, electoral climates we've had in Sierra Leone. And I say this, I'll give you examples why. For the first time, we're having a sitting first lady who has nurtured an intention to run, for the highest office in the land, to succeed her husband, even though what we are practicing is not monarchy really, but democracy. We have a cabinet, almost 80% of them, perhaps I could be wrong really, are aiming to succeed their boss, His Excellency Brigadier Julius Marabi, although he had told them to kill down the intentions for now because they are working for the state. And we have an opposition that is perhaps most charged now more than ever, with almost 20 plus, members within their party running to become the flag bearer. Is NEW prepared for the uphill battle that is to come in 2028?
So this is why my leadership, together with my team, is poised to having conversations across the board with all these political parties. Okay. Maybe we'll also take it beyond just the political parties as to meeting with the would-be potential candidates. Because at the end of the day, if we engage them, any one of them happens to be the flag bearer, they may have understood our standpoint and where we are all heading. And so it will be good to have these integrated conversations. So at the end of the day, we have Sierra Leone at the bigger picture. This is the only country we have. Going by my CV, you realize I have built my entire being sacrificing to ensure we have peace, we have democracy in my country. As a young man then, I'm not getting old, I'm above 50. I would want to see progress in Sierra Leone. We have learned bitter lessons as a result of poor governance, bad politics. We've learned from the war, the civil war. We should, as a nation, now be of age to understand that conflict does not solve our problems. But dialogue would. When you dialogue, you are able to understand. Sometimes the things we even hate somebody for might be just a misunderstanding, a very simple misunderstanding. Until you dialogue with Mr. Jones, then you understand, but this thing, the thing say, that deliberately Mr. Jones, he was not even aware that he did it. He may have done it inadvertently. So these are the conversations we need to have in our political landscape. Politicians need to dialogue. Yes, for the SLPP, it will be a precedent that we've never seen if the First Lady is to emerge from within those ranks. And then it will also put the President in a very funny position. Yes, funny position in the sense, he ought to be, because he's now leaving, he ought to be neutral in a way, even though he's a political being, but he has had people served with him. And so you may not want to disadvantage any other person simply because you want to satisfy your wife that also has an intention to run. So he's in this kind of precarious situation, not knowing who do I or what do I do. So, again, the First Lady will say she has her right as a citizen to aspire if she's a member of a political party. But the political party also has a constitution. So they all need to go back and leverage on the very legal framework that they have in their different political parties, whether there are provisions that grant the First Lady the right in the party to aspire or not. It is left to their constitution. So for me, I will not go deep into that aspect. The only thing the president would have or would need to really tread in a more cautious way so that he does not also badly affect ministers that have served with him. He has loyalists that have been with him. So you may not want to do anything that will send a bad signal before you even reach your convention to have your flag bearer. Yeah. So that's the kind of situation he finds himself. Maybe if his wife has not been this vociferous in showing her interest, it could be a different ball game. And for the opposition, I think we have seen 18 or 19 people showing up. They should be having conversation if they are really serious in putting up a strong candidate to contend with the LCPP as a ruling government. Because you cannot be fragmented and you think you can fight a ruling government. Even though everybody has rights to clamor, but sometimes you have to do a soul search within your own self. Am I ripe for this position that I even want to aspire for? Sometimes people just come out that I'm aspiring because they want to be recognized, and if they happen to win an election, even though they know they are not prepared for it. So when elections are won, I could be remembered, to be appointed, you know. So there are selfish aggrandizement in some of these wishes. And so they need to manage those ambitions in a way to sit them in a better position to contend in the 2028 elections from a better footing. The same as any other political party. So you have other. For me, my desire is to see other third-party politics happening in our country so that we teach the two giant political parties that no, because we'll have a better landscape if LCPP and APC begin to see 2-3 political parties, you know, towing them from their backs, and then they begin to sit up. Sometimes they are not giving us the kind of governance we desire because they are now cozy. They know if it's not us, it will be the main opposition. No. If it's not the main opposition, it will be us, and just the two of us alone. But when they start having two other stronger parties from the third force, then we'll have a better politicking. You now know the two of you alone cannot win an election, and the two of you cannot govern all the time. There is a third force coming behind you. So you now have room for better conversation, like it is obtained in the UK, when you have the two leading political parties. They will always come down to other smaller parties to form governments, because when you are not able to win the elections on your own, you go back now to political parties. We saw before Richard Sunak was deposed of his position. Sunak formed government with a party that, in terms of philosophy, they don't see eye to eye. But they swallowed their pride to form political government with that party because they wanted to be in power. I want to see that kind of situation in Sierra Leone where the SLPP, APC will now begin to look at those parties that they've been calling small parties, being strong, and then they discuss with them. They even go into a kind of a power-sharing agreement so that we don't have this winner takes it all syndrome continue to plague our elections and our electoral outcomes. We really need to cement the governance of this country. We are a people, we are a nation. We are interwoven. We've gone to schools that bring all shades of tribes together. You have the Creoles, the Timnis, the Fulas, the Yalonka, the Mende, the Limbas. They attend school together. They sit in the same class. And we've seen over years how these relationships have gone even beyond, as we assume, normal school days. They are becoming stronger. And friends you build from that level become your most trusted friends. We all have those experiences. So I want to see a kind of politics that goes beyond just partisan politics, and we'll begin to look at other parties being important in terms of the vision that they also have. I could remember when President Bill was sworn in his first term, and I was on TV on SBC at the time, appealing to him. I said, I saw two political parties brought two good policies, one on housing for the citizens, and the other one was industrialization at district level. Can you work with those two candidates and see how can you actualize those plans and visions that they had? It will make us good as a nation if we begin to look at the good things that other political parties have, just be going beyond your own manifesto. Because there are things maybe you did not think of in your manifesto to capture, but they did. And they are centered to the interests of the public. It would be good you look at those things, but it fell on deaf ears. So for us, we are still in the space, and we'll do our work independent of any political influence. We are an apolitical entity, and that's why we screen our membership very well. If we know you've gone political, which is your right to do, but we'll ask you to relinquish your membership with us, because every citizen has the right to belong to a political entity. But if you want to do so, declare it to us, and then we'll let you go. If you don't, and we also find out that you are engaged in secret politicking, and then we'll release you. And then you go and be full-fledged politician. So we do a lot of thorough screening of our membership at district level. So that at the end of the day, there was an incident. I was offering training for observers at Brotherhood in 2023. And a young man came, they had recruited him to observe. So I came in to conduct the training. He had, how do you call this? Is it a bangle? Those rubber bands. He had the political party band on his wrist, yes. And so I saw him, I said, no, young man, come. You cannot be part of this process. Oh, he said, well, I belong to this organization. I say, yes, but you have a political party band on you. It is not by accident you wear this. It's because you believe in that party. So no, you can't be here. I took him out. So I sent to the leadership of the organization that sent him to replace their candidate, and they did. So this is how thorough we are, making sure we are not misrepresented at all. That's why even when we do observation, incidences are reported, we cross-verify those incidents before they appear on our press releases. We just don't take things for granted. We go deep and to verify and authenticate whatever data we have before we come out with any press statement. So we will always do the usual good things that we are known for. We know citizens repose so much trust and confidence in the work we do. We will not disappoint them. And I have seen a couple of posts on my profile when some people, you see, that's the harm we do to this state, to our country. We brand people by the name we see. Yeah, I saw from two different posters. People commented, oh, now SLPP don't have pick and back. You know, see na Mendema and they don't pull Marcela Samba. Not knowing Marcela Samba and I will have worked together. As any staff member will work with the boss. We had a very good working relationship. And I have in no way flouted any authority of hers during her tenure. I hold so much admiration for her. She's courageous as a woman. Sometimes I've said to people, the things that Marcella will say that people will find offensive, I will say them, they don't find it offensive. You know why? We still live in a patriarchal world. So they see her, she's a woman. Why should a woman be saying those kinds of things? But not that she's really saying it amiss. But because she's a woman, they use that woman lens to look at her, not the fact she's bringing to the public. A man will say those same hard truths, nobody feels offended. So we need to change from this kind of attitude. So those two people were judging me just by my name. The fact that he's Kefkoba is a Mende. So this guy, and I said people don't bring account. But rest assured, for those who know me, I've been Kefkoba. I always say, if you are to count one civil society activist that has remained true to this cause, then I will be that one person. Because I've been in this landscape since military junta, since MPRC. From MPRC, I was part of those youth that were shouting, we want elections, go back to democracy, let the soldiers go back to their barracks. Even when President Bio at the time, he was the leader, the junta leader, he was saying peace before election. We said, no, we want election before peace. When our president comes, he will broker peace for us. Since then, this is me. Government comes, government goes, I am the same Kefkobai. So let the public rest assured, New is in safe hands. I'm not a stranger to New, and New is not a stranger to me. I am part of the embodiment of New. We have all struggled to build New to what it is today. And so I will in no way betray the trust of those who elected me. No, that I will not do.
We're slowly rounding up. But I suppose the question at this point is, what worries you the most about, if I should say, Sierra Leone's democratic future?
It is the manner in which our leaders treat the electorate who elect them. That worries me the most. Few days back, I was in the provinces. You know, I have this partnership with Audit Service, my own local organization, my parents' organization, Forward Sierra Leone. And so we work on public financial management and accountability. So we were in the provinces with Audit Service. I went as far as Falaba. The rains have barely started. That road is horribly terrible, my brother. So I was very much disheartened. Are there not electorates in this part of the country? That was my question. I was just speaking aloud with colleagues that were in the vehicle with me. We need to take our people seriously. When you come to power with the hope of many Sierra Leoneans being hinged on you, that you will deliver services for them. Many of us don't care about the politics. All we care about is social services being adequately delivered or provided for us. If we have good roads, we have sustainable electricity supply, clean drinking water, health facilities, good schools for our children, I bet you, my brother, many people will have their eyes off politics and politicians. Because at that moment now, you are able to sustain your own living. At least you have your small business in your house that you do. You save your food. There's electricity. If you cook, you are not able to finish it up, you save it. And then so you reduce on this excess spending on food. That's how we address poverty. That's one of the mechanics towards poverty alleviation. How I wish our leaders begin to think and look at life in that perspective. That just these basic things, if we can provide them for our people on a sustainable pattern, we have solved over and above 50% of the desires of the people.
But do you think they don't know this?
They tend to know when they are in opposition. That's the sad thing, my brother. They tend to know when they are in opposition. They will speak to the issues. They will provide you the solutions. Or if I come to power, I know it all. I will provide you those solutions. And then they come now to power, they drift away. So sometimes, I think it is the way our leaders, when they come to power, they select people to work with them. That is where they go wrong. You know, I read, years back, I visited, I used to have one of my reverends, she's dead now. She was the wife of Puawi, Babanya. Mm-hmm. So I visited them. Babanya had this book on the Clintons. I'm fond of reading, so once I saw that book, I started reading. Then I realized Clinton was saying in that book why he succeeded. He said he had picked his ministers, directors, heads of institutions. He had not even become president yet. He had not even gone into politics yet when they were at university. You know how he did it? He said with his friends, they would sit and discuss, if I have the opportunity to serve my country, this is what I would do. Some will have interest in transportation, some in aviation, some in health sector, some in the law. So he was identifying those guys, and as luck would have it, they all became highly educated at the time Clinton became president. So he said it was easy for him to handpick his people, his executive that would work with him, because he had identified them from university days. So he knew them well. And they knew his focus, because he had always said, I will one day be president of America. And if I become president, this is what I will do. That is why he has a record today as the president that left a very buoyant economy for America. High reserve. Because it was not a situation where you come in and you want to take advantage of the day. No, he had well planned himself and his governance. So sometimes it is because people jump at leadership. So when you come in, you now want to have this makeshift of your leadership surrounding. You bring in people that you are not even sure of, you don't trust. You only know them from a distance, and you bring them to serve with you. Their motives are different from yours. That's why we still have high corruption in our governance. So for me, maybe leaders should begin to learn from that kind of situation. Profile people. Okay. If you have intention to be a leader tomorrow, start profiling people. As I sit here, there are a lot of citizens I have interacted with that I hold to very high esteem, and they have lived and have, you know, they still have their worth. They have not been messed up. If I have an opportunity to be president of this country, it will be easy for me to pick those people to serve with me, because I know them. Mm-hmm. So you don't wait until when you become president and you want to choose people. Okay. Start profiling people if you have that ambition tomorrow to be a president. So when you are president, you now know, I have people that I will work with that are trustworthy, that Sierra Leoneans trust them and respect. It will be easy, and we'll have our country running just like any other business will run. Okay.
Congratulations again, Kev. But before we go, perhaps in 1 minute, what sacred assurance do you have for the people of Sierra Leone?
I want to assure Sierra Leoneans, not by my might, but by the grace of God. I believe in Christ as my Lord and my Savior, and He's my guiding principle. I will live to the expectation that you have towards my leadership, and the new will continue to do its job devoid of politics, devoid of partisan makeup, and we will work to satisfy the citizens of this country. And we will work with all political parties, because one of the things we have learned over the last few electoral cycles is the fact that a good number of the political parties don't engage their constituent and even their executive at ward level or district, constituency level. So we want to design a package where we'll start training political parties so that observation is not just being rested on new, but political parties also should have the wherewithal how to observe and to look at things that will be red flag in the polling station that will impede on the outcome of the results. So we train them how to observe on those things. That's one thing we'll be doing in this cycle by the grace of God. We'll work with all parties and with all the EMBs because for us, it is important we collaborate in the interest of the citizenry and in the interest of the peace and tranquility of our country. We'll work.
Thank you so much indeed for coming this morning. I wish you well.
Thank you.
I pray that new succeeds in the next challenges that lie ahead.
Amen.
This is where I would end today's edition of the program Wake Up Sierra Leone. It's been quite interesting indeed this morning. I'm speaking to Charles Kefkoba, who's the new chief in charge of the National Elections Watch in Sierra Leone. We have like barely 2 years to go to the next, big elections in Sierra Leone, which will be happening in 2028. And I want to say thank you very much indeed to our sponsor, Wakeup Commercial Bank, for their support to this program. And a big thank you to our cherished audiences across the world for waking up every morning to view our program. My name is Victor Jones indeed. Please do not go away. We are now joining experts on Islamic affairs who are outside covering the Eid al-Adha prayer, and we are joining them now. But on behalf of all of us here, the production crew at the Africa Young Voices would like to wish you happy Eid al-Adha celebration. Juma Mubarak. Goodbye.